So tonight we have only got 2 games on the sched. Buffalo's in Columbus against the Blue Jackets. Buffalo can get on a half-decent run here, I think. And Leonard played well, and I didn't mean to insinuate Buffalo didn't show up last night. Just the part of the game I saw Detroit was in control of. Calgary and St. Louis. Calgary... This is a rather interesting game because if St. Louis wins this game, of course, they widen their lead over the Hawks and everybody else in that division. If Calgary wins, they start getting into the conversation with the Kings and the Golden Knights for top spot. Mark Bergevin. Mark Bergevin's come out and publicly said the answer's in that room, and that's the highlight and that's the headline. Mark Bergevin, of course, is going to say the answer to their problems is in that room because he has to. It's his job as a GM that's on the line, and he knows it. I don't have any problem with Mark Bergevin saying that the answer's in the room because it has to be for him. If he's going to come out here and say, you know what, that team that's in there, they're not good enough. He's putting his job on the line. Because Molson's already come out as owners and said, oh yeah, no, we have full faith in this team and in the GM that's put the team together. He can't come out and say the team isn't good enough. And I think he's somewhat right. This is a team that's not far removed from being a division winner last year, from being one of the best teams in the league last year during the regular season. Yeah, they folded in the postseason, but they were one of the best teams during the regular season. So I don't blame him for having faith. And what else is he going to say publicly? You have to have faith in your players. Because if you don't as a GM, and I don't know of any GM that's ever thrown his hands in the air and said, yeah, this team is just garbage and they're never going to win anything. Because you can't say it. Both Matt Nieto and John Tavares with hat tricks last night. Tavares is doing his best to elevate the Islanders to that next level. And we'll see as the weeks go along if the Islanders are able to maintain it. Nieto, on the other hand, his hat trick, kind of weird that Matt Nieto gets a hat trick. Of course, for fans of my channel, going back to when he was picked up on waivers, you'll know that I've been a fan of Matt Nieto for a long time. I think he's a good player. I think he's fantastic in your bottom six, and he can skate and he can shoot. And I was really surprised at the time that San Jose gave him up, and I still am. I'm still surprised to see Tommy Wingels and Matt Nieto playing for other teams because I really thought they were going to be Sharks for as long as they wanted to be Sharks. So we'll see how that works out for them. Kyle Turris wasn't at the team's morning skate on Wednesday. Zach Smith skating in a non-contact jersey. Lots of injuries. Justin Schultz out with a concussion now for Pittsburgh. That's going to put a huge dent into the Pittsburgh blue line. And it was a Pittsburgh blue line that I've said before doesn't have a lot of top-end depth. You've got Letang, you've got Schultz, you've got some good muckers, but in terms of actual top-end talent, Pittsburgh's blue line has some problems right now. Shane Doan joins the NHL Hockey Ops Department. I don't know that warrants its own video yet. Once we know more about what his role is going to be. I mean, we know he's working under Colin Campbell. Once we know, we'll have a better idea of whether or not this is big news or this is just, part of a video like this where it's not got its own video. The Senators have sent Logan Brown back to the OHL. Good. Anytime that a player's not quite ready, you can send him down. Go ahead and do it. And there's an article here on the Coyotes and how they're fragile. Well, yeah. The Coyotes have lost 9 in a row to start the season. I would hope they're not confident right now. And it is not easy. It's not something that I can really mock or make fun of because I honestly think the league's more entertaining the closer everybody is together. When you've got one team just running away with the league or there's one team that's just falling behind and can't win a game, I don't find that as entertaining. So, we'll see where that ends up. And, with this Arizona road trip that they're on, I mean, their next game's in New York against the Rangers. You could look at that and say that's winnable for them. And then from there, Let's see, do they play the next night? I don't think they do. That's all just Thursday. Wow, Thursday's going to be one busy night. So today has 2 games. That's why I'm not doing a preview video just for that. It's just a part of this. And then tomorrow night it looks like there's quite a few games on the schedule. And we'll see. Yeah, there's 11 games tomorrow night. And then Friday there's 6. I'm trying to figure out. So Arizona could possibly win in New York. And then they're in New Jersey against the Devils. And then Monday they're in Philly against the Flyers. They're really... It's not going to get easier for the Coyotes. So they need some help. As for any of the other teams that I haven't been talking about lately, it's kind of funny because if I'm not talking about a team a lot, it's because either they're not off to the Tampa Bay Lightning start or the Arizona Coyotes start or around in that area. A lot of teams that are doing well. For instance, the Canucks. The Canucks, yeah, they win last night. And it's a shutout for Nilsson. It's the second shutout in 3 games. Jake Virtanen with 2 goals. And, I've got a couple requests to talk about Virtanen. There's not really much to say right now. He's not, he's scored in his last 2 games, but he wasn't setting the world on fire before that. That probably saved him from a demotion to the American Hockey League. But, he's playing well. He's not making anybody forget that he was drafted ahead of Nylander or Ehlers, but he's playing well. Him knocking down Kronwall, is a highlight that'll last the whole season, but there isn't really anything there to do a whole video on. The whole video ideas work for teams that are doing really, really fantastic and just, playing really well and finding ways to score, or for the train wrecks so far this year, the teams that are struggling. That's where you can find a lot of reasons to talk about a team. But for the ones that are sort of in the middle and they win a couple and maybe they lose a couple, and it's harder to do a whole video on that. So, it's not a matter of me neglecting certain teams as much as looking for, okay, what can I really find a lot of stuff on to talk about with this team? And with Vancouver, with Stetcher out, it's going to be hard. However, Derek Pouliot's looked good. He hasn't been a liability out there. Although I believe they have him playing with Goodbranson, which is natural and fantastic. Goodbranson's your stay-at-home defenseman, and Pouliot's your I don't know where my goaltender is to kind of defenseman. So you put those 2 guys together, it should work. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing around the internet and you just happen upon this channel. And thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.